Hey, mommy bosses. My name is Tamika Newhouse, founder and CEO of AAMBC Inc., and you are tuned into Mommy Business Podcast.
We have Tamika Newhouse is a mom, CEO, author of 17 novels, and has landed numerous bestsellers lists and is the winner of 7 African American Literature Awards.
Yeah.
Kudos. Tamika, welcome to the Mommy Business Podcast. We're glad to have you here today to share a little bit of insight about your life and your expertise to our listeners today. Can you share a little bit with us about your background and how you got started?
Oh, well, first, thank you so much for allowing me to be exposed to your audience. I was just telling the other mommy boss that, I'm going to try to behave, on tonight's show. But how I got started is really by accident. I've always been in my head, and I've always had these visions and ideas and things I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to just write a lot of stories, and at maybe by age of 12 that I was going to be this full-time authoress. And I grew up like a spiritual child, like a PK kid. But I knew then that words had power.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like that's what I was going to do. But then, life happens. You kind of get derailed. I became a mother at 16, and then it was back-to-back traumas. But yet, in spite of that, I was still able to stumble upon my purpose. And I found a way to monetize that. So,
yay! Look at God. So what I was excited about is, I was born in the 80s. I grew up in the 90s. So I know that in 2019, you served as the co-producer and writer for the legendary hip hop group 8 Ball to MJG, Coming Out Hard. What was that experience like?
Okay, so I this was one of those experiences where I realized there are going to be moments in my life where I realized in that moment it's a transitional out of body type of experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was a moment where we was actually sitting in the trailer of MJG and Ball. And they smoke heavily. Everybody's in there. We having a good old time. And this some old song just blasting through the speakers, and everybody was just vibing. When I say it was one of the most free moments I've ever had with a group of people, and then the song had reached some type of climax, and everybody came in all at once. I was like, "Oh my God, this is life! Oh my God!" So working with them was like, come on. It was fun. It was fun. It was definitely like an out of body type of yes, I'm doing this. Like they know my name. I grew up listening to them. So it was one of those experiences where I was like, okay, this is dope. I did that. Like, give me my
does she shoulders off? Yes, that's funny because it's like that when you're actually working on something, you're like, let me pinch myself to make sure this is real. Like, I can't believe it. Like, thank you, Jesus. Yeah. So good thing that you said that you've been a storyteller, and that's really, really good. I just found out that recently they was like, if you don't know how to do anything else, you should learn the art of storytelling, because it can really, change the trajectory of your life and how, people receive you, and even for your family, because it's good to have those stories to pass down to your kids for generations to come, because that's how they learn, by sitting down, and hearing about mommy's story. So that's really a great gift to have.
Yeah, it really, for me, even though I was a young mother, I knew from the very beginning, I wanted them to be exposed to what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that we knew was living a safe life, a comfort zone, and then a lot of them are not truly happy. And even though my journey is not easily obtained, I'm still able to live out the days that I want. And I want my children's on the road with me very, very young. I think my son was like 4 when I took him on the road with me. My daughter was maybe about 7 or 8. and they understood the system. You know, we had my son characters in the storyline, how much the book was. Like, he was just my little salesman. My daughter out there collecting information. I'm like, no, you got to get emails, phone number. We need to know where these people is coming. I need to add my newsletter. Like, everybody was part of my dream, and I really want to be a part of that. So I'm all about exposing, you know, your children, allowing them to see, you know, the most part, and it may not be pretty.
Right. You got the real world. And I can respect that because, you know, kids are small, but they're smart and they pick on easily and quickly. So, yeah. So let's speaking about you touring. You toured the country speaking about your battle with mental illness and depression.
Yes.
When did you discover that was an issue for you, and how did you deal with this?
I discovered that I had an issue with my brain. I pretty much try to just say it plain like that, because sometimes you want to be happy, but like, dang, why am I happy? Why I don't feel I really realized that at the age of 26, when I found myself committed into a hospital and I was surrounded by real crazy folks. I realized I need to find another going on. And it's kind of unfortunate. And I talk about this on my podcast, Traces of Mika, which is a memoir that I developed. And through audio, I talk about my life and my experience. And through me experiencing those dark moments, I realized that it has to be, I guess, another way of talking about it, seeing it through, getting some understanding. I felt like that was my answer. Who I was, because there really is no cute answer to it. Doesn't really kind of go away. You can't really bury it with hobbies or with people. You have to continue to try to get to know you, nurture yourself, practice good habits, and take it day by day. Honestly, I don't know if I answered your question, but that's where I'm at right now. Is
No, those are good tips, you know, getting to know you, and like you said, taking it day by day, and, you know, seeking out the help that you need, but also just really just trying to deal with it, because it's not just going to go away. So also some good tips there. You have a passion for lifting up Black voices in film and television. Why is that so important to you?
It's important to me because they are me. That's where it started from. Started from, like, I had a dream to publish a book, and I was impatient. I didn't want to wait for someone to say, hey, your book is good enough, let me publish you. So I published myself. I started a publishing company that basically published my own books. And then when it comes to wanting to win awards, wanting to be recognized, wanting to be in mainstream media, I said, okay, cool. They're not going to create or give us that platform. Let me do it. So I found a space for us, and I basically created a space that I felt I myself would want. My own desires and things I really want to see for myself, that I decided to share that vision of writers. And that's really what I've kind of manifested now for like 13 years. Curating award shows, book signings, screenings, conversations around our books. And then getting like brands interested that would be connecting with the publishing. Like, you don't really see mainstream media or liquor brands, sports brands, or beauty brands connecting with books. Found a way to kind of make sense and connect those dots. So it's more so I really wanted those things for myself, and I said, okay, cool. It's not there. Let me create it. It so happens that my vision benefits. You know, I definitely wasn't waking up saying, ooh, let me help the people. Feed the people. That wasn't my whole vision. But hey, just what I do so happens to help everybody else.
See, that was the universe speaking to you. It was a need. Talking to you.
I know. Trust me, I had this conversation with God. I'm like, you know what? Why can't be selfish?
Because that's not how the world works.
I want to, focus on myself.
Make all the money myself.
Right.
What advice do you have for those who desire to get into publishing or film and television like you?
My advice is, before you step into this space, understand the why, and then understand your purpose? Like, what are you really kind of doing this for? And then who are you? Are creating something that means that you're an artist. You have to really think about what type of art that you're trying to convey. And artists normally have a message, or they have something they're just trying to share. And what is that? You have to really know what that is. That way you can have a real true understanding how to navigate through the space, because this world is full of talented people. Upon millions of people that have different DNA. We have different facial features. Our fingerprints aren't the same. We're all made up differently. That means we all share some talent as well. If it's different, of course, we're uniquely made for some reason. So what makes you stand out from everybody else? And for me, the answer is relationship. It's all about someone seeing you, or you connecting the dots with someone, something that's going to elevate. And so if you do not have a clear idea, vision of who you are as you're navigating through this space, then you don't really understand the types of moves of people you be talking to. That way you can get to that destination you're trying to achieve, or the vision that you see in your head that you're trying to obtain. You really got to understand who you are. So that is my advice for you. What are you trying to create? What are the stories that you're trying to tell, or the art that you're trying to put out? And then understand or connect with people that's in that same space with you. And then just be yourself. You can't talk a way that you feel like people are going to say, oh, okay, she's cool or he's cool. You can't dress a certain way. You can't manipulate your art to try to get people's attention. The only way that you're going to be successful is by just being yourself. There's really no wrong or right answer in this process. So being yourself, and it's going to connect the dots, you know?
Great advice. Listen, so you just had to get a kiss before hubby left the house. You got kids.
Hold on, I'm not married.
Okay. Sorry.
Don't be putting that on me. Ooh,
I'm sorry. Well, you're in a relationship. So how do you balance the family and the business? How do you balance all of those things?
Well, my daughter lives in Texas with her dad, so that's
okay.
That is a lot where I don't have to do a lot of day-to-day parenting. But when she's here, then I have to kick into that, that mommy mode. So my son is 14 now. So my children are older, and then so
you living your best life right now. Never mind. Skip that question.
So I'll be having enough time when it comes to that space, and then, of course, for people that you love, you'll make time for them. I just find a balance. And half the time, honestly, I'm just chilling in the house.
Yeah, she's living her best life. So, so you have a podcast, Traces of Mika. Can you tell us more about your show?
Yes, Traces of Mika. So I'm naturally a creator. So I'm a storyteller by nature. Not technically, now I realize, not by just words. I used to way of telling stories, writing a book. But then I felt like I had another story to tell, which was my own. But I was like, people don't really know me. I may not be that important to them. So how can I make this interesting for people to want to hear about my journey and then find that type of connection? So there's a podcast where I basically have these conversations with friends, family, my children, former flames, other famous writers come on, and we talk about common topics that are related to me. Talk about my motherhood. I talk about my entrepreneur goals. I talk about being a teen mother. I talk about losing my mother at a very young age. And then I used to record myself when I was a really young child, like 10 years old. So I took some of that audio from my cassette tapes, and I made these little skits that plays in between the.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I made like this. It's a audio piece. It's not just interviews. It's really unscripted conversations. And then season 2, I took it a step forward, and I added a visual element to it. So now it's more of a TV show. So you're able to see me in my home as I'm having conversations with my children, my best friend, my male friends, colleagues, like all the jazz. We're going to different places in Atlanta. And I'm just talking about and revealing a lot of my own secrets or things that I've struggled with. And I'm really, really raw, authentic conversations with them, with the purpose of just starting these conversations around motherhood, mental health, family trauma. Like it's a lot of things that we do not just talk about, but I myself as an example to kind of get those conversations started.
I love that. I love this season of ladies right now because it's like back in the days, people just didn't share. Nowadays it's like we go through things, we talk about it, we share it, and that's so important because we have younger generations behind us. Once they hear your story and they see how you're navigating through this, like, dang, she survived that. I'm going through that too. I can survive it as well. So I'm so happy we're at a stage where we're able to just talk about our life and talk about experience and really just want to be better. And we want the next person to be better as well. So
I want people to understand too that talking is healing.
Yes, absolutely.
Talking about it, you're not going to fully understand why you feel this way. And then also everything doesn't happen to us. Just walking around and figuring out how to make life horrible and sad and bad for you. Bad things happen, yes. But we have ability and how forward and navigating through life and what decisions are we making. Are we making decisions that's going to equate to this? So I talk about, take accountability, in our healing process too, because life doesn't happen. Life is horrible, but life is horrible to
everybody. Yep. Everybody can get it. Don't discriminate.
Every race and every imaginable, everybody goes through something, but what are you doing in spite of? Because life gonna hit you again. Because that's what revolving door of greatness and then horrible shit. I mean stuff.
No, that's true. Yeah, that's so true. What's the thing you love most about what you do?
Freedom in my day, because I don't like doing stuff that I want. I don't stuff when I want to. I don't talk to nobody if I want to. I won't leave my house if I want to. I won't do nothing if I want to. So
and still get paid. So what do you have coming up next in your career or in your life that you would like to share with us?
Yeah, so I'm getting ready to produce a documentary based off of my podcast. So that's going to be fun. I've also did season 2 of my podcast to film festival. So I'm going to be on a film festival market. I'm also producing some original film, short series. So I'm working on that as well. And then I have one more not nonfiction, but one more fiction novel. Before I retire writing novels, and I'm just putting out nonfiction work. So one more
fiction novel.
Listen, she's the girl. If you guys want to get into this arena, reach out to her. So listen, I have another question for you. What was the best advice you received before becoming a mom, a wife, a business owner that you have taken along with you on this journey?
Ladies are to be seen, not heard.
Ooh.
And you can take that in so many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in the sense of quiet and don't ever speak up or use your voice, but learn how to navigate through life strategically. You ain't got to be loud about it. We're ladies anyway. We ain't supposed to be so loud.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that I've taken throughout life. Is ladies are to be seen and not heard.
I'm gonna tell all the ladies on these reality TV shows that.
Because some of them is too loud. Like
too loud.
Watching it just, get a nice little tickle. But I be like, dang, they are like 50. Really?
Right.
Right now, like, what are we doing?
Right.
I be confused, but I sure be tickled though.
Tamika, please share with us your social media and where we can find out more information about you online.
Okay, perfect. All right. So as you see the display of my name, everything is Tamika Newhouse. That's on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Is Traces of Mika, which is Mika, and my podcast is Traces of Mika, and my podcast is on everything, probably everything that Mommy Business is on. Yes. Spotify, Podbean, Apple Music, Pandora, and then my YouTube channel. If you want to watch season 2, go to Traces of Mika on YouTube.
Please check her out. She is so funny. And if you want to get in this field, you better reach out to her. So Tamika, thank you once again for joining the Mommy Business Podcast. It was great.
Thank you so much, my darling. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.